Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films. Another episode, big game this week. The Ravens back in black, back at the bank. Monday Night Football. There is nothing better as a sports fan, especially in Baltimore, than going to the bank for a night game. Special atmosphere, the lights, the intros. Now we know why they introduced the defense versus the Browns, so they could introduce the offense versus this Lions team. And the Ravens may need their offense to show up big time against a team that scores a lot of points. Thank you all so much for joining me. If I look a little tired, I am. Was on again this morning with the vault, or this afternoon. So a lot of film study. Was on there, took a nap, woke up, got myself a water and a coffee. So I might need both tonight and flying solo. So it's going to be a theme on this show. I'll be relying on you guys in the chat. Be looking forward to your comments. Anybody that catches this on replay to interact with me, though, tonight and to give us stuff to talk about. Plenty of topic bars as usual. Plenty to get to. Juicy matchup. Plan on spending a lot of time on this matchup, bringing up the spreadsheets. And they are prepared. Just to give you a preview for those of you who don't see, maybe new to the show, we are going to go through the matchups on both sides of the ball here, because it's a very interesting matchup. Let's start here in the chat. Let's see who's in here first. Take this off. Okay, that's the way I'll get it. So let's see. Dario, if you are in here, not sure, don't see a comment, but Dario re-upped. So thank you. You see the channel members below. Somebody gave Dario, gifted him a membership. Dario's expired, and he signed back up. So thank you to Dario, and thanks to those who gift the memberships, because this does happen. This is the first time it's happened on the channel, but you see my channel members down below. Really appreciate you guys. And we got our guy Dwiz, channel favorite. I try not to play favorites, but I love Dwiz. Your Paso flock family. Your Paso, my brasso. Love you, Dwiz. And Zhang is in here. Beautiful. Zhang, hey, Jason. Hey, Zhang. It's great to see you. Tim Hughes, what a whoop whoop. Man, Tim, can't wait for Monday night. Can't wait for Monday night. Sunday might be a little boring. We have football to keep us occupied, watch the divisional games and that kind of thing. But Monday night, it's going to seem like 3 weeks before this game gets here. I just cannot wait to see. Of course, the last time the Lions came, there was a lot of hype that game. And I believe the final score was 38-6 Ravens. So let's see. Here she is, the lovely Chris, looking for you with the typical purple black heart, the Chris signature. Love it. Ravens Nation is in here. Yes, we are, Mr. Hughes. Thank you so much. And Dario, yeah, just said, hey, thanks for re-upping that membership that you were gifted. Really means a lot, man. It's great to see you in here. Thanks for your comments in the videos as well. For those of you who don't know, there are cut-ups on this offensive line that I talked a little bit about today with Sarah and Bobby. Real concerns, though, on the offensive line. We have all the run blocking snaps on that video, on one video, and on another video, it's all the pass blocking reps. Ravens uncharacteristically kind of had to abandon the run because Cleveland took it away with their scheme, their man scheme, and then also just by dominating that Ravens line up front. So we'll talk a lot about that tonight as well. Hey, Dwiz, with the smash that like. Thank you, sir. Keep on them. And Cosmo in here, the Cosmonaut Project. Good evening, all. It is great to see you. Yeah, love you too, Dwiz. Samuel Moore with a $2 shout out. Thank you, Samuel. Appreciate that. Football is family. What's up, Jason? Samuel, another channel member. I see you re-up as well. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And always love your comments in here too, Samuel. So it's really nice to see everybody. I really look forward to these Wednesday nights. Something else I look forward to. Let's just soak this in for a second. Yeah, I joked with a friend of mine, former friend of the show, or a friend of the show, but she hasn't been on in a while. Actually, that I might put this picture over my kids' picture, my family pictures in the wallet. That's how much I love this picture right here. Joe and Lamar, cool with each other. It was just cool to see, and it's great. It's great to see Joe back in town, especially winning. So that was just awesome to see. Needed to see that. Also, I see Two other channel favorites. Got Laid Back Al, Big Laid Back Al. Just happened to pick up my phone, saw you were live. Glad to catch it. Last two I missed. Thanks, Al. It's great seeing you, man. Every Wednesday at 9. Every Wednesday at 9 o'clock if you're available. And Tila, up to no good in the chat. I love that. Great to see you. You and Wiz behave yourself this evening, Tila. Or don't, either way. But yeah, it was great to see Joe back in town. I just had to bring this slide up. Save this picture on my computer because it was kind of an iconic moment. For your old school Ravens fans, we went so long without a franchise quarterback. Finally we got McNair in 06 and finished 13-3 and ended the season one of the most heartbreaking losses I can remember in Ravens history. And then look at us since 2008, those two men right there leading the show for the Ravens. Just awesome. Just awesome. So I had to bring that up. Now, speaking of the guy on the right there in the purple jersey, Mr. number 8, we are heading to historic Lamar. I call him General Jackson because he's an all-time great. And look at this guy. Look at this guy. Rocket launching the ball downfield, dare you say, nuking the competition. Lamar Jackson, don't get it twisted, folks. And this is not just the Baltimore talking. He's past this. Who's better, Josh or Josh Allen or Lamar or Patrick Mahomes or Lamar? I see Eagles fans bring up Jalen Hurts, which is, no offense to Jalen, but that's just hilarious to me. But we're past those conversations now with Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. We're talking all-time great. If Lamar decided to retire tomorrow, he would be in the Hall of Fame with 2 MVPs, the All-Pros, all that other stuff. He needs the hardware. That's what it is. Because right now, Lamar Jackson leads every quarterback in NFL history in rushing yards. Not a surprise there. But he also leads every quarterback in NFL history in passer rating. Just amazing. So, touchdowns, interceptions, yards, they're all hard to measure. But the quarterback rating, is an accumulation of all of that. So it's one thing to be this mobile quarterback, talented quarterback. I always hear the word talent thrown around like he doesn't apply his talents to the field. The man is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Right now, if his career trajectory just stays the same and we can find a way to get this hardware in Baltimore, we could be talking about Lamar Jackson as an all-time great. Like I said, that conversation shifts away from who's the best quarterback in the game right now to who's the better quarterback, Lamar Jackson, Joe Montana, Lamar Jackson, fill in the blank. But again, we need to get some stuff done. We need to get the hardware. His throw chart from Sunday was insane. All 4 of Lamar Jackson's touchdown passes targeted a receiver over 10 yards downfield against the Browns. And what makes that more impressive to me is these weren't deep shots necessarily with a wide open field, like from your own 20 or 30 yard line. Those were some red zone type throws. They were over 10 yards downfield, but the field was condensed. So the safeties were up, that kind of thing. Find Tylan Wallace, find Devontae Walker twice. Of course, the DeAndre Hopkins pass could have had 2 of those, really. So you see that green mark, the furthest mark on there is green because Hopkins was ruled down at the 1. Since the start of 2024, Lamar Jackson has thrown 32 touchdown passes of more than 10 yards. That's 10 more than the next closest quarterback, Joe Burrow. So since the start of last year, the long plays, 32 touchdown passes of over 10 yards. That's not counting the short ones. Next closest one, Joe Burrow. So just historic stuff from Lamar. How lucky are we to be able to watch him every week? And that's why I feel like, a lot of Ravens fans are hung up on, well, it doesn't mean anything unless we make the Super Bowl, unless we win the Super Bowl. And I feel you. I will be there. Trust me, I'll be there with you when it comes January. But let's just enjoy General Jackson, because what we're seeing is history. It's history. And it's a fun history, too. This is not a boring player. He's one of the most exciting players. He always has been since his start. But he has turned that into, wow, how talented is he? How exciting is he? How dynamic? That's another word they love to use. It's all kind of coded to me. Don't really appreciate it because the guy is just an all-time great. So So yeah, we're watching, we're witnessing the history. I'm going to go back and catch up on the chat. Josiah, hey, Josiah, nice seeing you, buddy. Checking in. Pierre Louis or Louis, are you from France, Josiah? Interested to know. Trench play is awful. Yeah, it's got to improve. You know, and part of this is like I understand the Ravens' philosophy. You have a really good left tackle established. You have one of the best centers in the game, and you have a second round pick you invested in Roger Rosengarten. Okay, so if we put two guards in between all those guys, among all those guys, and the guard play is solid, well, hey, the left guard has got Linderbaum and Stanley next to him. The right guard's got Roger Rosengarten and Linderbaum right next to him. Those great players around them should help, but it's really not. We're going to get into some player evaluations when we pull up the matchups, but I'm a little concerned, Josiah, and everybody else, because as I mentioned on the vault today, it's like we have to throw away half the run plays, half the game plan, and just go to good old fashioned pitch left and run the read option. And if we have to rely on the read option for our running game, that is a terrible sign. I mean, we got Derrick Henry in the backfield. It's not like I'm afraid of Lamar getting hurt running the ball, but you don't want to wear him out. You want him fresh in the passing game. So I don't want to have to rely on the read option all the time. And I don't want to have to rely on pitch left. Like Rodgers got to get better at run blocking. Lele is limited, physically limited in run blocking. We just got to do a better job overall. Laid back, Big Al, he remembers it. Yeah, that was the Al. That was the angriest I've been after a game. I was still a little bit younger back then. We all were, but like I was so mad. We kept Peyton Manning out of the end zone. Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Dallas Clark, and lost 15-6. Yeah, Tila has been challenged. Yes, crack the knuckles. Go ahead and let a few loose over there. And it's all good. I appreciate it. Believe me, Jank. Yeah, that pick, Flacco and Lamar, all kinds of good vibes there. Let's read Dario's comment here. Again, thanks for the membership, Dario. With Aaron Rodgers, bad game. Lamar is number one in history in passer rating. Crazy considered that stat is weighted against dual threat quarterbacks. Yeah, insane. One of the greatest out of context pictures of all time, says Alex. That is great. And hey, look at Chris. See, I'm glad I caught up with the comments, Chris. You're slipping over here sometimes going solo. $25. Wow. That's so sweet. Thank you very much, Chris. And also just thanks for all you do with the chat in here. Just keeping everybody loose, keeping the mood great. Love you, Chris. Thank you so much. Yes, Yang, he's very quarterbacky. And Tila, yes, we're witnessing greatness. Alex back in. All that orange, purple, black got me ready for Halloween already. Yeah, Halloween's a big deal over here in the Huddle It Up Films household. I enjoy handing out candy. I get dressed up. I'll show you guys real quick. I probably shouldn't do this. You may have seen it in the background. Anybody know who this guy is? It's my Rick from Rick and Morty mask. See, it got a little dusty, got a little dirty with the fire pit last year. But yeah, we get into Halloween around here, so I'll be out there doing the Rick Sanchez voice. Sometimes I scare babies with that, so I got to take the mask off and give them their candy and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it does look Halloweenery there. Hey, my guy Knox in here. Nasty work. Not sure what Knox is talking about, but the man in the beard right there, someone I talk to regularly, his films, his editing, you see him out going to some big colleges now. I'm not going to put you on total blast, but Knox, working man, works his regular job and does all kinds of photography, film, edits, you name it, for colleges, high school, work for a shoe company. So yeah, my guy Knox is in here. Thanks for checking in, Knox. Hope you're still in there. Just kind of checking up on the chat here. Voorhees has silently been awful. All of the spotlight has been on 77. You are not lying. If you want to go and catch the replay, of my appearance on the vault. I lay that all out. He was only given 16 assignments one-on-one. I highlighted 8 of them that were bad. And really, when I looked at all 16, there was only one rep where I was like, oh, yeah, Voorhees handled that pass rep one-on-one. Just an unacceptable level of play. And Heather is here. Thank you. MVP, I like to call Heather. Love you, thinking about you. Hope the family is holding up well, doing well. God bless you, Heather. It is great to see you. Wiz knows some Rick and Morty, seeing some Rick and Morty love. Yeah, I do the Rick voice, try to get it like this. And hey, and then everybody asks where Morty is. I'm surprised how many young kids know Rick and Morty. Like they look like they're 9, 10 years old. And the parents don't quite know who they are. So they must be watching Rick and Morty on their own. And Heather with the $20 super chat. Yeah, just talking about you. Yeah, God bless you. Love you so much. Thanks for all you do for the channel. It was just great. And Knox coming in here. Love what you're doing, my friend. Love you too. I'm sure we'll talk soon, but I love that. My Rick voice sounds more like Mahomes. Yeah. Thanks. I got the natural squeaky voice. So I'll work on my Rick voice, Josiah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Now I'm a little self-conscious. All right, let's get back to the football. That's enough of you, Josiah. That's enough of you. So this is a big developing story here with Kyle Van Noy. Mike Green, Ravens second round pick. He's going to get his chance now. He is a necessity, not a luxury pick at the time. You looked at the Mike Green pick. Yeah, he's going to help us out right away. He's going to give juice to the pass rush. The Ravens are going to play Odafe Oweh a lot. They're going to play Kyle Van Noy a lot. Tavius is going to be in there. Hopefully Mike Green gets his snaps. Well, we don't have to be saying that anymore. Mike Green is now a necessity, not a luxury. Kyle Van Noy is bracing to potentially miss multiple games with a hamstring injury. It was a tough day for the podcasting Ravens. Both podcasting Ravens, Van Noy and Marlon Humphrey, left that game. Marlon hopefully should be okay, but Van Noy, 12.5 sacks last year, hoping the injury is short term, and we need everybody we can get, man. So it's a big loss. But Mike Green, he's somebody I'm going to be looking at closely this week. Probably doing a cut up of Mike Green next week to see how he handles this full-time start. Other cut ups I'm going to work on at the end of this week, by the way. I want to take a look at Aeneas Peebles, and I want to take a look at Jair Alexander in addition to the 2 cut ups I already did. So, the Ravens are going to miss Kyle Van Noy. Mike Green, what are your expectations of him? I don't know. I mean, you see the explosiveness and everything. I expect him to produce. I do want to see Mike Green play a little more under control, though. A little more under control. He's getting just a little ahead of himself. He looks a little excited, and I love the energy. So I want him to tighten things up just a little bit. When he's turning the corner, he's got that great bend, but don't find yourself on the ground too much. Just try to be strong, take it easy, and the plays will come to you. Mike Green, I think, is going to be a really good player in this game, but we need him to be good right now because these next few games, guys, we got the Detroit Lions, and then we have the Kansas City Chiefs at KC, at Arrowhead, Houston Texans, LA Rams, all before the bye week. So Kyle Van Noy might be out until the bye week. Who knows? He's up there in age, pulled muscles. Not a good combination. Not a good combination. So we'll see, but we're going to need Mike Green to step up in this early schedule gauntlet that the Ravens face, to step up here. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chris. You wonder why you're one of my favorites. And Josiah, Green needs to go from Michael to Mike ASAP. Yes. So, they don't call him Mike Green on the team. He's got to earn the Mike Green, I believe, is what Kyle Van Noy did. I think, Josiah, it was Kyle Van Noy. So he's not Mike Green yet. He's Michael. And it's time for him. To step up. Alex, edge now a major potential target, trade line target, I guess. You know what, Alex? I'm not sure. I feel like they could target an edge, but man, if they trade for somebody, I would just love it to be a guard. I would just love it to be a guard. Maybe that's just my own bias, but I feel like you got Derrick Henry, you got Lamar Jackson back there. Protect them. They deserve better offensive line play. Again, there's no reason the Ravens shouldn't be able to run the ball consistently. They shouldn't have to abandon the run versus a team like Cleveland, as good as they are with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in the backfield. So yeah, guard, but yeah. And Dwiz says his coach taught him focused recklessness. There you go. Need a little more focus from Mike Green right now, Dwiz. I'm seeing him just a little out of control, a little too excited. He's got the energy, he's got the quickness. Just need Mike to settle down and stop trying to be in such a hurry. The old Nirvana line from "Come as You Are": take your time, hurry up. Choice is yours. Don't be late. He's not going to be late. So just calm down a little bit. Okay. All right. Looks like we are caught up. Another guy I want to highlight before we get into the game here: Nate Wiggins. Big bounce back game. By the way, look at the cheeser on Roquan right there. Now, I don't know if he's out of breath. Maybe that's or if he's actually smiling. But Roquan Smith looks pretty happy for Nate Wiggins in that photo. Love that photo. Might have to use it in his highlights or something. I don't think I'm supposed to do that. But Nate targeted 7 times, only allowed 4 catches for 15 yards. So you targeted 7 times and you give up 15 yards. You are cooking out there. You see the EPA. He had that interception return and a 22.6 passer rating allowed while targeted. You might as well just spike the ball instead of throwing it in Nate's direction, son, Joe Flacco. But yeah, it's quite a performance from Nate, especially after he gave up a touchdown first week. It was great to see him. We don't know Marlon Humphrey's status. And someone else that I want to bring up and talk about while we have this Nate graphic up is Jair Alexander. Now, I try not to pick on the coaches, but yet again, here I am. Jair said, well, he didn't look ready and he's going to have to earn it at practice. Well, if that's the case, I can agree with you on that. Well, why wasn't he earning it week 1 against the Bills? I know it was a big game, but if you're not ready, if Jair's not ready, you don't throw him out there. I mean, Jair didn't practice almost all of August. And you throw him out there, and it didn't go well for him in the opener at Buffalo. So rested Jair this week. We'll see if Jair continues to be able to practice during the week. Awuzie, I think, has played pretty well. We may really need Jair Alexander or TJ Tampa if Jair's not ready to step up if Marlon is slowed by that. I believe it's a groin injury for Marlon, a soft tissue issue. Hopefully Marlon is okay. But yeah, with this graphic of Nate, just had to rant a little bit about if you say, Harbaugh likes to say football is a practice sport. We like to see our guys practice well. Why isn't Ben Cleveland? Well, he doesn't practice well. Well, if football is a practice sport, Jair probably shouldn't have been out there week 1, especially if you see what he did in week 2, having to rest. So rant there on the coaching. Wasn't a big fan of the way that they handled the Jair Alexander situation, but it's still early. So the Ravens are talented. We will work this out. Yeah, Heather said the same thing about Jair. Right. If you're saying he wasn't ready week 2, then he sure as heck wasn't ready week 1. Maybe that's the best, simplest way to put it. Now let's start diving in to this matchup. It is a juicy one. It's a big matchup. It's going to be a fun one. Now, technically, the NFC games are the least important because when you get to the tiebreakers, they're looking at your conference record, or for the division, your divisional record. But the NFC games this is the big game just because the Lions are so talented, and everybody else in our division is going to have to play the Lions this year. So if you win against the Lions and then the Lions go ahead and beat Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland, that's one game up. That's one game up. Before we get into the matchup, there's one other note that I had. The divisional outlook. Joe Burrow injured, out for 3 months at the minimum, maybe a season ender. And just to let you know how heavy that makes the Ravens favorites to win the division, their odds when I went on DraftKings and checked was minus 425. And for those of you who are not familiar, never made a bet in your life, good for you, probably shouldn't. But minus 425 means if you bet $10, you're only winning $12.35. So you have to risk $10 if you bet on the Ravens to win. and put up $10, you're only winning $2.35 off of that. That's how heavy favorites the Ravens are to win the division with Joe Burrow's injury. The other outlook, we saw the Browns, no need to talk about them, but the Steelers regressed big time this week against the Seattle Seahawks. Turns out the Jets didn't look like a good football team against the Bills. So maybe that week 1 matchup between Pittsburgh and the Jets wasn't two good teams in a close game. Maybe it was two bad teams in a close game. Steelers can't run the ball. Steelers defense can't stop the run. Aaron Rodgers, they need to get him out of the pocket to get anything going on. Aaron Rodgers in the pocket just looks like he's at that age where he's unwilling to take the hits, and they probably don't want to risk him getting hit. So the deep shots are gone. So the Steelers are on the struggle bus. The Bengals are without Joe Burrow for maybe the entire season, and we just saw the Browns are the Browns. So the divisional outlook, sunny with a chance of disappointment, I would say. But yeah, the Ravens should handle business. They keep everybody relatively healthy. This division is up for grabs, and that's what makes this Lions game important because, if you are to assume that the Ravens are heavy favorites to win the division, then it comes down to, well, where are we playing in January? Are we playing this playoff game at home, or we have to go to Buffalo, or do we have to go to Kansas City? So very important game against the Lions, despite it being a quote-unquote non-important game, being an NFC game. The injury report going into this game. Now, there was no practice today. Because it's a Monday night game, tomorrow, Thursday, is the normal Wednesday. So their first practice, who's questionable, who's limited, who's practicing, who didn't practice, will all come out tomorrow. The big injury for the New Orleans Saints was Marcus Davenport. You might remember him, former first-round pick of the Saints. He is an edge rusher. And when Dan Campbell was asked about his availability, banged up his shoulder, by the way, in that Bears game, said, I don't know. It's a good question. I'm hoping it won't be too bad. So if I'm a Lions fan, I don't like the wording there. So Kyle Van Noy out for the Ravens. Marcus Davenport maybe out for the Lions. They play the same position. They're both usually lined up over right tackle, that strong side edge. That was the only injury that I could find on the Lions side. Of course, the Ravens, Rasheen Ali got knocked out in the first play, making the tackle on the opening kickoff. Does Keaton Mitchell get some action this week? That would be nice to see. Disappointed that he's not active, but if Ali needs some time, it's Keaton Mitchell time. And that would be really, really cool to see versus the Lions, break out some speed, maybe get some kickoff returns there. But yeah, the Ravens are a little banged up. The Lions have that major injury. We'll see what happens with Marlowe. We'll see what happens with Kyle Van Noy. We'll see what happens with Ali. But yeah, Marcus Davenport is the major injury for the Lions over there. So let's look at the Ravens on offense versus the Lions. What happened here? Okay, there we are. And there we are. And I'm going to check the comments here. No, I have not seen Shamar Stewart on tape. Twiz, if you want to tell me something, tell the chat something, I'll go back and chat. Joe Burrow's injury, should open Harb's eyes to 77 and 72 are threats to Lamar herself. Protect 8. And again, Josiah, just to back you up here, it's not just about, Lamar's missing games because he got hurt because people aren't blocking for him, just getting banged up, just having to run for his life. Those hits take a toll when you're talking about a 17-game season. So, yeah, better offensive line play equals a healthier quarterback, a fresher quarterback in a brutal, long sport where it's just hard. It's just hard. Should have kept Zeitler. Yeah, especially last year, I felt like. You have Zeitler instead of Falalele last year. Maybe things turn out a little bit differently. JB checking in. Hey, what's going on, JB? Thank you so much. Good seeing you. Keaton Mitchell is going to make the decision to make him inactive look silly. I hope so. That would be great. I want Keaton to be undeniable. I hope he gets a couple of carries, and I hope he takes one to the house. And like you're saying, making the decision to keep him inactive silly look, I know we need Justice Hill in there on third downs. I know we want to get the ball to Henry as much as we can. But it seems to me, especially without Likely, who we'll see if he practices this week, that's a big one. Wouldn't expect Ricard to be back, but we'll see if can we get Keaton a couple of touches. We're getting everybody else touches. Let's see if we can get Keaton some touches. And Tila, hey, new member. Yeah, you were gifted a membership, so you signing up. Thank you, Tila. Look at that picture. Sorry, Dwiz, I'm not looking. Tila, very beautiful woman, inside and out. The best sense of humor in the chat. So thank you so much, Tila. Thank you. Laid back Big Al. It's crazy. KVN and Ali got hurt in game, and Keaton and Ajabo were both inactive. Right. So we were left thin both of those positions. But the good thing is they can be available while we're out. Yeah, exactly. I see y'all laughing it up in the chat. Y'all too much. So premier matchup, I think, in this game for the Ravens versus the Lions on offense. Ronnie Stanley, Aiden Hutchinson. You see both of those guys highlighted there. That is one to watch. Stanley struggled against Myles Garrett, but then again, who doesn't? Stanley had a very good week one. So Aiden Hutchinson, excellent test for Ronnie Stanley. And, let's face it, with the struggles elsewhere on the line, we need Ronnie to hold up that blind side, stay healthy, play well. Probably one of the best defenders on the Lions and one of the best edge rushers overall. Maybe what would you say, Aiden Hutchinson, top 7 guy edge rusher? Don't want to give him too much credit, but don't want to knock him. Hadn't thought about that. Just brought it up off the top of my head. But Hutchinson's he's a bad man. He didn't go in the top 5 for no reason. Very, very talented. Him and Trayvon Walker from Jacksonville doesn't get enough love, by the way. But yeah, Hutchinson versus Stanley. Need Ronnie to hold his own. Along that defensive front on the other end, Marcus Davenport mentioned injured. We'll see if he practices this week. We'll see if he plays. But Al-Qadir Muhammad backs him up, a veteran, another power edge, but not quite the pass rusher. The thing that worries me, though, is Muhammad is a powerful player. And what does Roger Rosengarten struggle with? It's power. So again, I don't want to see Roger Rosengarten get knocked back off the line. Some of these reps, he's getting knocked backwards, jolted off the line of scrimmage, like you would expect from a tight end. Like Roger has got to be stronger than that. He's got to be able to, seal off that edge and really hold his own at the line of scrimmage, because it's really messing up the design of the run, the pathway of the run. And if we got Bao Lele, who's going to be limited in what he can do, we need Rosengarten to really step up, because, man, running right is just tough sledding for this team. Running right is tough sledding. Roger, I was hoping he would come back looking stronger. But so far his play, I'm sure he's stronger. I'm sure he can bench press a little more and all that stuff, but it's not showing up on the field. We need him to play strong, aggressive style of football. The tight ends, man, Mark Andrews just doesn't look right to me. You know how Father Time works, especially in a game, the NFL, not for long. He knows how to get open. He finds space in zone. That'll never go away. He'll always be able to do that. But do you guys remember the 3rd and 3 or 4 or whatever it was? The Ravens had the ball, and it was a nice little design rollout, almost reminiscent of the last play of last year. But Mark Andrews caught this one, only needed to get like a yard or 2 of yak, and got hit and was ruled short. The Ravens had to take a delay of game. They were trying to draw the Browns offsides after that. But, Andrews hasn't done anything, terrible, negative. He had that drop in the end zone. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the scouting eye, the way he looks. Like, we need Isaiah Likely to come back. And when Isaiah Likely comes back, it should be the Isaiah Likely show at tight end. You want to put in your blocking tight end. You got Kolar. That's great. Does a good job of that. You want to put somebody else, a 2 tight end set. It's got to be Likely out there. He needs his snaps. Mark Andrews, I'm just not seeing it. Hopefully he proves me wrong. He got better as the year went along last year. Maybe that's the case this year. Now, along the offensive line, Ronnie Stanley, good game week 1. Everybody had a poor game week 2. Andrew Voorhees, really looking forward to see how he responds this week. He's going to be matched up against guys, I think, who match his skill set. Tyleek Williams, DJ Reader. We're all familiar with DJ Reader. He spent forever in Cincinnati. He was a Houston Texan for a while. Detroit Lions style player, nose tackle. He's going to be pretty good against the run. The Lions, by the way, gave up over 100 yards to the Bears last week. I think they averaged over 5 yards a carry on the Lions, so it wasn't a really good run defense game for the Lions. But DJ Reader, big guy, nose tackle type. And then Tyleek Williams, a surprise first-round pick by the Detroit Lions this year. Who picks a defensive tackle who's not known for sacks in the first round? Well, that's the Detroit Lions. They picked Jack Campbell early. They picked Jahmyr Gibbs early. They go against the grain. Dan Campbell, building a team in his image, does not care about positional value overall. So they took the guy who's, a run-stopping defensive tackle in the first round. That said, still a very talented player in Tyleek Williams. But I think he's the style, both him and Reader, are the style of defensive tackles that the Ravens match up well against. So, you can beat Voorhees with quickness. You can beat Falalele with quickness. You got Linderbaum in the middle there to help. The Ravens can deal with some big bodies. It's the quicker 3-techs, the freak athletes that really give these guards problems. So I kind of like the Ravens' interior offensive line in this matchup, and that's despite everything and how low I am on them as a group. I think the Ravens will hold their own on the inside just based on the skill sets. Big, non-pass rushing defensive tackles. I think we can handle that. The receiver matchups are very interesting. Receiver versus corner. Zay Flowers. Hey, who was the guy that said he expects Zay Flowers to be the centerpiece of this offense and to get more targets than he did last year per game? That was me, and it's looking like it's right. Let's pull up this chart, by the way, so you can just see how heavy it's been leaning Zay Flowers. You can see Lamar, 48 attempts so far this year. 20 of them have gone to Zay Flowers, who has 14 receptions, so averaging 7 receptions and over 100 yards a game. Only the 1 touchdown, but Zay heavily involved. Let's go ahead and look at these numbers for each team while we're here. Lamar, high completion percentage, all 434 yards passing, leads the NFL with 6 touchdown passes. That's why you see that highlighted in the purple. No interceptions, also leads the NFL. Obviously, he hasn't thrown one, and leads the NFL in passer rating at 136.6. You can see Henry's numbers come down after that tough game last week. Almost 30 attempts on the year, almost 200 yards on the year, 2 touchdowns, still averaging 6.6 yards per carry, even after that disappointing game. And then you see it's Lamar and Justice Hill still in the red, bro. Justice Hill still has negative yards on the year, averaging negative 1.4 yards per carry. He had that, he fumbled and had to pick it up. That was his fault. Other than that, just nowhere to go for Justice Hill, much like Derrick Henry. But Justice Hill is not superhuman. Hey, I see guys, more people come into the chat. Kwame B, what's up, Kwame? Got to send Andrews out with a Lombardi. That would be nice. Let's send him out with a Lombardi. But yeah, I think it's Isaiah Likely's time, Kwame. I think you may agree with that. When he comes back, he needs to be the tight end 1, as people like to say. He needs to get his targets in there. And I see people calling out Taurus. There he is. Hi, Boris Taurus. Okay, we are good. What is up, Taurus? It is good to say. Good to see you. Good to see you. Taurus, we're getting the salutes in here. Okay, so back to the Ravens offense, Lions defense. Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, decent set of linebackers. Again, these are linebackers that I am interested to see how Derrick Henry matches up against. Jack Campbell, big hitter, the heavy-footed dude, but a big hitter. But bringing Derrick Henry down, so I can't wait to see those guys match up head-to-head and meet in the hole and see what happens. Alex Anzalone, everybody knows he's bounced around a little bit. It's tough to find good linebackers these days, guys. Really tough to find 3-down linebackers. So Campbell Anzalone, you'll see a lot of them. The DBs, standout group on this Lions team is their safeties. Brian Branch, really good player. Kirby Joseph, really good player. So both of these teams have, top 5 type safety groups, really limiting the big plays, playmakers. Branch is really versatile. He's a smaller version of a Kyle Hamilton. Of course, everybody's smaller than Kyle Hamilton when you talk about the safety position. But Branch plays a lot of man. He can play slot. Branch he's a very versatile player. Very versatile player, excellent player. So the safeties there to prevent the big plays and to play some man defense allows the Lions to be aggressive on defense. They are not afraid to play man, much like the Cleveland Browns. So this is going to be a really good matchup there. Zay Flowers versus first-round pick Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold, Zay Flowers, Terrion Arnold is much like Denzel Ward. Not a big, tall, strong corner, but a guy who's able to match receivers' movements. Again, though, Zay is on fire. Zay's not only just getting design touches or schemed open, Zay is getting himself open. You can see on the cut-up we have on the channel of Lamar's pass attempts, just how tough it was with the Browns just smothering everything the Ravens were doing. An aggressive Browns defense. Zay was still able to get his really good matchup there. Arnold versus Zay Flowers. Thought it was worthy to highlight it. And then on the other side, DJ Reed. Remember him from Seattle? He was with the Jets for a couple of years. You should see a lot of Bateman. Reed is their press corner. So whoever's up at X could be Hopkins. We've seen Hopkins lined up over there. Both of his big plays last week. Hopkins was on the field and Bateman's spot at X. They were moving Zay around in the slot. So it's good to see the flexibility from these Ravens receivers. But I kind of like the talent of Bateman and Hopkins and Amik Robertson, undersized corner, smaller corner. He can be picked on with the tight ends, like especially if Likely is back or if they stick with Andrews in the slot or Hopkins in the slot or Bateman in the slot. That's a matchup, I think. Whoever is matched up on Amik Robertson, I could see the Ravens going, smaller in this game, meaning fewer tight ends on the field, more receivers on the field. I mean, how about the receivers that we're seeing? Tez Walker, Tylan Wallace. The Ravens have a bevy of weapons. So the Lions like to go heavy. They like to play a lot of 4-3. They like to get, a lot of big guys on the field. They're not afraid to stack the box with the talent that they have at safety. So why not spread these guys out? Spread them out. You can still run out of a spread formation. Make them put their lightest personnel on the field and hand the ball to Derrick Henry. That seems like a good plan to me. It is great. A lot of great options here for the Ravens. I'm expecting a high scoring game. Little spoiler there for the score predictions coming up soon. So get your score predictions ready. Romy, hey, it is good to see you, Rome. Looking good. Love the picture. We got the bucket hat. Can't see what it says though. But how are you doing? When was the last time we got an injury update for Emory Jones? I know we haven't, and it's looking like a lost season for him because you don't just come back from injury and just hop on the field, especially if you're a rookie. He's got to get back on the field. I would think pretty soon to have a chance to contribute late in the season, and but yeah, I get this sinking feeling. I don't know about anybody else that this is just a lost season, and we could really use him. Romy, we could really use him at guard. It's kind of nuts. John made it finally. I'll watch the replay. I know you will, John. I know you will. Thanks. And hey, any kind of comments in that replay will be good. Yep. Smaller meaning Keaton. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not have Henry and Keaton out there instead of Andrews? Put Keaton Mitchell in Andrews' place. But of course, he won't be lined up on the line of scrimmage like that. But put more speed on the field. Make them match. That would be great. Lions fan here, Jack Kronowski. Thank you so much for checking in. Jack, appreciate you. And if you have any feedback, anything you disagree with me about, please let me know. And Living Legend in here. Hey, what's good, fam? What is good with you, Living Legend? It is great to see you. So this Lions defense, tale of two games, really. Uh, week one, Green Bay, tough look. Week two, Chicago shut them down. Chicago got a touchdown in garbage time. Roma Dunze got them on one. But the Lions a little up and down on defense, trying to find their level against this explosive Ravens team. What do you guys expect on offense? I'm looking for a big game from Zay Flowers again, and I would like to see them use Hopkins a little bit more. I think this would be a game for it, especially if they can get Amik Robertson on the field, who again is an undersized player. Use that speed, test these linebackers in coverage. I would love to see Justin Keaton Mitchell or Justice Hill out there to swing and test the speed of a guy like Jack Campbell, who's a thumper, a really good player, high draft pick for a reason. But let's test their sideline to sideline speed. Speed is one of the assets of this Ravens team. And of course, Dan Campbell loves big, tall, tough, rough, tough guys, strong guys. So, they have these safeties back there who are extremely talented, and they have a bunch of tough, rough riders to go with them. But the Ravens, against the NFC, very good, very good. You can't simulate Lamar Jackson. Malik Cunningham signed off our practice squad to the Lions this week. I guess he's playing Lamar Jackson in practice, but good luck, man. I mean, we've seen Malik move and he can move, but there's something about Lamar Jackson. It's like you can't touch him in a faux booth. Dario with a question. Let's get to it. Any concern that we've been seriously outsnapped this season? Our explosive plays in short fields have caused very quick offensive drives, not good for our defense. Yeah, it's definitely a concern. I mean, Dario, I would say it was one of the reasons we lost that Bills game is because we were on the field so much. We couldn't get them off the field on third down. But as you're pointing out, the Ravens had 4 scoring drives that started in the opponent's territory last week. We really didn't move the ball on the Browns very well at all. We had the block punt by Hummel. We had LeJontay Wester's punt return to set us up into Browns territory. And then we had the interception by Nate and with the Roquan score. So we were set up a lot, given a lot by our defense and special teams. Really couldn't move it. And again, the explosive plays that you're talking about, those deep throws to Hopkins, we're not taking a lot of time. And this goes back to me, Dario, where we've got to be able to get the running game going without gimmicks. We got to be able to hand it off to Henry and have him average his 4 to 5 yards a carry as usual. And just stay ahead of the sticks without any tricks, without any Lamar magic. We're just putting a lot of burden on Lamar through 2 games, and I don't like it. But yeah, there's the stats. We were outsnapped 78-50, and then 72-53 in each game. That is huge. I mean, the numbers you see there from the Ravens, between 50 and 60 snaps, you get into the 60s. That's pretty normal for a game. When your defense is on the field for 78 snaps and 72 snaps, that is a ton of work. You don't want your defense out there. And we saw the injuries now with Marlon, with Kyle Van Noy. That's how you get players, especially like your safeties and your corners playing all that snap. It is tough. It is tough. Jack checking in. Let's see what you got to say. I hope you're being nice in here, Jack. Baltimore may get throwing yards. The D line for Detroit has done good holding the run. It will be interesting. Jack, I saw DeAndre Swift go for like $125 against you guys, though. So yeah, I haven't studied that game. I haven't studied the Detroit-Chicago game. Had other stuff to do these first few weeks. But yeah, I was curious to see what happened. I mean, you guys had 2 good backs. You faced Josh Jacobs and you faced DeAndre Swift. And DeAndre Swift had some nice yards. Living legend saying want Tez to get more snaps than the Yin Yang Twins. Okay, I like it. The Yin Yang Twins. Yeah, man. That's pretty funny. Yeah, but yeah, more reps for the young guys. Tez brings something to this offense that's special. He has a special skill of not just speed, but being able to track the ball and that one-cut ability from Tez Walker. The knock on him, Tez Walker can't run routes. Well, he's always been able to run posts. He's always been able to run flag routes. He's always been able to run go routes. These one-cut routes where Tez doesn't have to chop his feet. sink his hips, change direction. He's always been good at those routes. It's the, sinking your hips, chopping your feet, coming back to the quarterback. That's what Tez has to worry about. But he's always been a good deep ball receiver and a one-cut route runner, I think. I think he was kind of miscast in the draft is, oh, he can't run routes. Well, yeah, he can't run certain routes. He's got to get better at running certain routes, was a better way to say it. But he can definitely run some routes and does it effectively, tracks the ball. Tez, of course, has size and can finish. So that's great to see. I would love to see us use it. And Jack, again, checking in, saying that he's looking at the lines of scrimmage. Yeah, that's a good matchup. In fact, we are about to flip it over here. I think we have worn out this side of the ball. Yeah, the Ravens' depth will be key to see. I want to see, does Keaton get active in Ali's place? How much do we use Tez Walker? And Tylan Wallace is going to be on the field, fellas. They're kind of using him, it seems like, in a like kind of an Isaiah Likely role. Like, obviously Isaiah Likely's a tight end, Tylan Wallace is a wide receiver. But you see Tylan lining up close to the line of scrimmage, like Likely would, chipping on the edge rushers and running routes. So Tylan Wallace has kind of been that guy, seen the field more than I think a lot of us expected in Isaiah Likely's absence. And I don't think that's being talked enough about, in the media. But yeah, we're seeing Tylan Wallace, and he's been effective when we've thrown him the ball. He's not going to be a high target guy like Likely could be, but he's doing a lot of the same things. So before we flip it over, let's look at the Lions' offensive stats through 2 games. Jared Goff on fire. His completion percentage through the roof. Pretty sure that's number 1 in the NFL. 54 out of 67. So Jared Goff has attempted 67 passes and only 13 have been incomplete. Insane. He had 5 touchdowns last week to bring his season total to 6 touchdowns, only 1 pick. You see the quarterback rating there. And the Lions, of course, have Sonic and Knuckles, the 2-headed monster at running back. Jahmyr Gibbs, scary player. Scary player for the Ravens. We haven't seen a receiving back really yet. And we're coming off a game where Cleveland averaged 5.2 yards per carry. They uncharacteristically, the Ravens are really good at shutting down the run. Number 1 last year, off to a great start against the Bills in week 1. But Cleveland was able to get a little bit on the ground with Quinshad Judkins, who, we talked about last week as being super talented. Didn't expect him to play. Not only did he play, he did his thing out there. The quarterback, Jared Goff, is not a threat in the run game. Most of you probably know that. So it's more of using their backs not only to run the ball, but you see Gibbs in the passing game. He's been targeted 13 times in 2 games and caught all 13 of them. So it's a lot of Amon-Ra St. Brown, the sun god, doing his thing. 3 touchdowns last week, just insane. And then they'll throw to the running backs, and you see Sam Laporta is their next volume guy. Jameson Williams, former first-round pick, had to kind of take it slow to start his career. He had that nasty injury in college. He is the deep threat, and we are going to see them. We're going to talk about him coming up real quick. JB Tez has also looked good as a blocker, so he might fit for that smaller personnel run game too. Yeah, we can go 11 personnel, 10 personnel, and run out of that too. Tez, he's got some size to him. And Al, thank you. Yeah, I have noticed that a lot of chipping from Tylan Wallace, chipping and heading out into the pattern. So yeah, Jack turning us on to Isaac Tesla. Not sure how he pronounces that now that he's in the NFL, but sneaky pick by the Lions. So I definitely know who he is, Jack. And Dario, please, no more ridiculously lucky tipped ball touchdowns against our defense. 2 is the quota for the year. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. J-Mo is a dog for sure. Yeah, Jameson Williams. It's going to be he's a deep threat. He's going to be key in this game. So let's look at the Lions offense. Jameson Williams, in fact, is who I have highlighted. And I had him highlighted with Malachi Starks here. Now, Malachi Starks, people are wondering how he's playing, not hearing much from him. Well, that's been a really good thing for the Ravens because what's happening here is the Ravens are able to play a lot of single high safety, and it's mostly been Malachi Starks. So Malachi is pretty much taking the whole back end, and you see where Kyle Hamilton, where I have him listed, that's just for the convenience of the spreadsheet. But Kyle Hamilton's been moving all around, and Malachi Starks is playing a lot of single high safety, a lot of just handling the entire back of the defense by himself. And how many big plays have the Ravens allowed through the air? None. That was our major problem last year. So Malachi Starks, people are wondering, where's the interceptions? Where's this? Where's that? Look, they're not throwing his way. He's taking it away. His eyes are in the right place. He's making the right reads. So yeah, this is a good. The Ravens are getting good return on their investment early on for Malachi Starks. But he's got a challenge this week. You see Jamison Williams highlighted for the Lions, their big play threat, their X receiver. They like to move Amon-Ra St. Brown. He plays more of the Zay Flowers role. Jamison Williams is the guy who wins off the line of scrimmage and is their big play threat. So eliminating him, I think, in this game, limiting his production is key. Like the Lions are going to be able to move the ball. We saw Goff's stats, good offensive line, good tight end, great running backs, Amon-Ra carrying the volume. They're going to be able to move the ball well. It's a good offense. Just have to limit the big plays from Jamison Williams. And Awuzie, who knows if it's going to be Cheeto out there on him or if it's going to be Jair out there on him. We don't know if Marlon's going to play, but that's a matchup the Ravens really got to take care of. Jamison Williams, Malachi Starks. The other guys I have highlighted, obviously for the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs. Saw all the carries that he has. We saw all the catches that he has. Roquan Smith coming off his probably best statistical game as a Raven, 15 tackles, the fumble return for a touchdown. So covering Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield, shutting him down, limiting his action is a very, very important thing. The Ravens can do that. And I see LJ talking a bunch of smack in there. Maybe I'll bring this back up. What happened the last time we met, LJ? It was 38-6. So don't get cocky. It's going to get rocky for any of you rapper fans out there. That's for you. But yeah, I appreciate you coming in, LJ, and keeping it cool. But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs is obviously he is the engine for this Lions team. They'll use David Montgomery, the old Sonic and Knuckles, but Jahmyr Gibbs, the explosive guy that the Ravens got to watch out for. Teddy Buchanan, of course, still a rookie. We need Roquan to play like he played last week every week, and that's going to be a really good thing for this defense. Man, can't help but to look at the Nate Wiggins, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, of course, they will move Amon-Ra around a lot. So Amon-Ra will probably see his share of Marlon Humphrey or Keon Martin in the slot. They're going to find ways to get him the ball. He is their lead dog. Nate Wiggins will be interesting. I'm interested to hear from any Ravens fans. Do you expect or could you see Nate Wiggins following Amon-Ra this game? So with if Jair's not with his full self and he's limited or he's not ready to play, do you put Wiggins on St. Brown no matter where he lines up? Could be a possibility. So we'll see. I expect Jair Alexander to practice again in full this week, just like he did last week. But will he be in game shape and ready to play? We will see. And living legend, yeah. Fast Quan, not slow Quan, not Rosempic. He was fast Quan last week. That's great. So yeah, I think our Lions fan in here, where was he? Jack was talking about this matchup for the Ravens D-line, the Lions O-line. And this Lions O-line has some similarities to the Ravens in a certain way. So you have Taylor Decker, the left tackle, veteran, established, good player, like Ronnie Stanley. You have Penei Sewell, high draft pick on him. He's a power player, but a great right tackle, one of the better players at his position on their team. Ravens have a good right tackle in Roger Rosengarten. Their centers are really good. Graham Glasgow, Tyler Linderbaum, one of the best centers in the game. Glasgow, converting from guard this year as they lost what's his name before the season, Frank Ragnow before the season. So Glasgow has moved in his place. The two question marks on their line, where the Ravens can exploit, are at the guard spots. Christian Mahogany, a later round draft pick from last year, he's stepping up, first time starter this year. And then Tate Ratledge, the rookie out of Georgia at right guard. Those are spots that the Ravens can win. And, if you look at the Lions, their strength is on the edge rushing, or their strength is at tackle. The Ravens edge rushers only have 1 sack so far. That was by Tavius Robinson. So the Lions, give advantage Lions when it comes to tackles versus edge rushers, but advantage Ravens in the trenches, D-line versus interior offensive line. I expect Matabike is going to give Tate Ratledge all he can handle for a rookie. Matabike, sack in each game, 2 sacks on the year. So Jared Goff can be tough to sack. I think he got sacked a few times week 1. Packers got to him. Bears didn't have nearly as good a luck. But yeah, look for Matabike to have a game this week and give Tate Ratledge a lot of trouble. And, the other thing is if the Lions run this outside zone, Matabike is way too quick for Tate Ratledge. Tate Ratledge, when I studied him, would get jolted off the snap, knocked back. Pretty good pass protector, but in the run game, he would often lose early, and that would hurt him. Matabike, what's he known for? Power, penetrating style. Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. So that's what we have. Let us get to our score predictions here and wrap this thing up. But yeah, contain Jameson Williams, big key for me. Monra's going to get his, but don't give up any big plays to Jameson Williams. And how much can we hold Jahmyr Gibbs down in this game? Key to the Ravens. I expect both teams are going to score. That's going to be my give it away. So if y'all can type in your score predictions now is the time. Now is the time because I'm going to give you a little bit to type it in, and then I'm going to give mine. But again, let's go to see what Vegas has to say on this game, just like we did last week. Now, this may have changed. There we go. This may have changed, but the last time I looked right before the show, the Ravens were 4.5 point favorites at home. Over under way up there at 52.5. This stadium is lit, and for Lions fans that are watching this, there is a different energy at M&T Bank Stadium at night when the Ravens are wearing the all-black jerseys. Trust me, I've been there. I've been to plenty of Ravens games. I've been there the Ray Lewis days and the intro, Ravens Steelers games, and all these big games. But there is something special about these black uniforms and Lamar getting introduced. Ravens fans know what I'm talking about here. They're going to be walking into a beehive come Monday. And I think that the Ravens, obviously, you look at Lamar's record on Monday Night Football. I don't know. I should have pulled this up, but I don't think he's thrown an interception on Monday Night Football. Knock on wood up here. But Lamar, a premier player when it comes to Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and the environment again. So, man, it's going to be a barn burner. But yeah, Vegas says Ravens by 4.5. They had the over under at 52. So if you put those numbers together, that adds up to about a 28-24 game. 28-24 Ravens would be like what Vegas is expecting here. Man, what a game. I cannot wait. So let's see if I got any score predictions in here. And we're also looking for bold predictions. I got one of those coming up too. Hey, it's Bird. Okay. Hopefully I said that right. Is it an I, it's Bird, or A, it's Bird? Tomato. Either way, appreciate the prediction. 35-21 Ravens. So this will be an all-touchdown game. I don't see any field goals in there, Bird. That'd be 5 touchdowns for the Ravens, 3 touchdowns for the Lions. LJ, our Lions fan, 34-31 Lions. That's a high-scoring game. LJ, honestly, appreciate you picking your Lions and everything. I would if I was you too. But that's the kind of game I'm kind of expecting here too. My score prediction is going to be kind of similar to yours. Kwame, another guy, high scoring game. A lot of high scoring predictions in here. 40-17. Kwame's going Ravens. He ain't even got to say it. He ain't even got to say it. He's saying the Ravens. Dario as well, channel member. Thank you, bro. High scoring game. Ravens 38, Lions 35. Man, so yeah, another high scoring game. Jack coming in. Detroit 38, Baltimore 28. So everybody's on that over. The over of 52.5. That thing might be 53.5, 54.5 if the public's thinking like we're thinking. Alex back in. 34-28 Ravens. TY 40-30 Ravens. TY, I'm a little mad at you right now. I mean, that was going to be my score prediction. So I think I'm going to change it, TY. I'm going to give you the old like $1 treatment. The price is right. But the opposite when you want to bet 41-30 Ravens. Okay. 41-30 Ravens. So I'm going to one up TY there to make sure I get the advantage. Living Legend 42-24. Look at all these scores. Look at all these scores. It makes me think like whatever defense can just step up and make a play, get a turnover. Special teams comes into play here with the field position. Jordan Stout, by the way, coming off one of the better games I've ever seen from him. But he had a 70-yard punt that wasn't returnable. But yeah, with all these high scoring predictions, this game might come down to mistakes. Goff don't throw a lot of interceptions. Lamar, of course, only has 4 interceptions over his last however many games. So can you get a turnover? Fumbles? Can you punch the ball out? Can you get a punt return? Can you block a punt like the Ravens did last week? Those are the kind of things, the field goal kickers. Yeah, it could be a very, very, very close game. Torres coming in 47-24. Bro, 47. Woo! That would be a hot one. Man, if we score 47, I got to remember that for next week. Kwame saying they'll see what blackout games are like. It's definitely a different energy, man. That Black Air Force One energy. When you're in that stadium, man, the crowd is just insane for those games. I mean, people high-fiving each other in the aisle. Just rowdy Baltimore. Just true rowdy Baltimore. Chris coming in 45-19. Yeah. What's the projected weather look like out there? Not sure, Jack. I haven't checked like the rain or whatever, but it's pretty nice out here. It's been like right now it's raining. It's a little cooler, but you could expect like high 50s, 60s out there. So not sure though. It's too far away for the rain prediction. Samuel, is this a 43-24 score? Not sure. Ravens, of course. Yes, it was. Okay. Justin, hey, what's going on, Justin? Good seeing you there, bud. 42-24. Man, everybody's on the same page. Jason Z, sorry I'm late. And Zaratniak, right? Jason Zaratniak. Everybody calls you Jason Z because they're scared to say it. They don't want to type it out. But Mr. Zaratniak coming in. Sorry I'm late. I'll make sure to watch the replay. 38-13 Ravens. Ton of score predictions. Yeah, I priced this right. Living legend. Hey, what can I do? What can I do? What can I say? I mean, Heather, 30-24. All right, Heather. So this one is pretty close to the Vegas predictions. Ravens by 6, close game, high scoring point. Man, yeah. I can't wait. I know Lions fans can't wait too for this game. Just a great, great game coming up. 12th man be a factor, John says. Yeah. Just trying to catch up. But yeah, hey, and I got Zaratniak right. Yeah, that's right, buddy. That's right. Okay, so the score predictions, that was excellent. Thank you Thank you very much, guys. So I have a bold prediction. Wonder what the stats are now. I Googled this. Should probably get Grok or whatever else to try to help me out with the fact check. The Ravens have scored 40-plus points in both games this season. Bills and Browns. Browns, tough defense. Look out for that defense. Another 40 burger coming for the Ravens. Now, TY Living Legend had to one-up them. The Lions, I expect them to move the ball and score too. This is a well-oiled machine. The loss of Ben Johnson as their offensive coordinator does not seem to have affected them. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit, Lions fans, I thought losing Ben Johnson, it would take at least a few weeks for the offense to get adjusted, new coordinator and everything. But the Lions are showing that it's talent driven. Jared Goff, definitely real deal. Give him a hard time when he first came into the league. Amon-Ra, JMO, Sonic and Knuckles, Laporta. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Chris, got a green thing popping up here, Chris. Hope the Lions borrowed the brown bag from the Browns. Yeah. What did you think that was a little excessive, Chris? Like it almost like the guy in the brown paper bag, he seemed like a like an industry plant. Like he was a CBS employee or whatever, wherever the game was shown. Because they zeroed in on that guy before the game. Every kind of bad play for the Browns, they just went right to their guy, bro, with the brown bag on their head. So I'm going conspiracy theory on this, Chris. I'm going industry plant, kind of like that San Diego Chargers, or excuse me, LA Chargers fan that they always pop up, that lady. But yeah, they kept showing the same guy with the brown paper bag over his head anytime, anytime. And Dario, yeah, Lamar putting his 24-2 record against the NFC on the line. That's the other thing, Lions fans. Trying to tackle Lamar Jackson. We're not talking about in the run game. We're talking about in the pocket, subtle movements that he makes, extremely slippery. And if you make a mistake with your rush lanes, he's going to make you pay. And this is the kind of game, Dario, and maybe Ravens fans agree with me, that if Lamar has to carry the ball double digits, he doesn't usually do that anymore. But if he has to carry the ball 10 times, he will. It's primetime Lamar. So, yeah. And the people who said us losing Ben Johnson is dumb, you have too much talent. Yeah, you're proving it, LJ. It's still early, but like I said, maybe I was dumb. I thought it would take at least a few weeks. Like I know you got talented guys, but yeah, Browns have been through a lot. They have, but yeah, and yeah, okay. So that was my bold prediction. Another 40 burger. I'm not sure if a team has started the season with 3 40 ounces in a row. Not sure if that's happened, but we will get those records. We will get those records in soon if the Ravens are able to score 40 points. We'll find out soon, is what I meant to say. So, long day for yours truly. Really fun show. Can't wait for the game on the channel later this week. Probably get to it tomorrow. I want to look at Aeneas Peebles, see if he can add some juice to that rush against these Lions guards. That would be nice. Want to look at TJ Tampa and his coverage because he's somebody else, if Jair doesn't play, that the Ravens could be relying on again this Monday night. So I'm going to do cut-ups of those, but thanks for all your support on the Ravens run blocking video, the Ravens pass blocking video. Not the most encouraging videos, but I wanted to put those out there so you guys could see how for yourself how much the Browns beat up our offensive line. Definitely concerning, not only for this game against the physical Lions team, but for the future and the playoffs and all that. But thank you to the super chats in here. Got a couple of big super chats. Thank you. That was Chris and Heather, I believe. Almost want to go back and check. Got new channel members tonight. And you guys really take care of me. You guys really take care of me, and I appreciate it. If you're watching on the replay, would love to hear your comments. What are you looking for? Hope you bring up the show comments. I got to remember, I got to click on this setting to bring the show comments up on the side. Yeah, see, it's just, they're coming up now. Got to do that. If I don't do that next week for any regulars, tell me to put the comments up on stage so I don't forget. But with that, I want to say thank you to our football family and Heather with the or what is it called? At the buzzer, launching from deep at the buzzer. No, you are the best, Miss McCubbins. You are the best. You should take care of those girls. Again, praying for you. God bless you. Hope everybody is dealing with things as best they possibly could. Just, not getting political at all, but you see these tragedies around the world, in the country, no matter what political side you're on. Life is precious, man. Life is precious. So take care of those who take care of you. And Heather, I think that you're a really good example of that. the best example of that I know in the community, just showing so much love. And Chris tipping in a 199 at the buzzer. So Chris is trying to one up you, Heather, with the last minute buzzer beater there at the buzzer. So yeah, that is so funny. You guys are so funny. Love you so much. Kwame, you're so welcome. But yeah, generosity. I see John saying we'll come back to you. Yeah, there is a such thing as karma, especially when it comes to good people who take care of each other and support. Not just their words, their actions. So sorry to get a little sappy there at the end, but yeah, man, take care and just enjoy life. Enjoy your friends. I'm happy to be here to give you a little distraction from that, some entertainment. We can talk and we can clown on each other, and living legend, you know, and Heather. All right, I'm getting out of here for you. Y'all trying to one up each other. Y'all get me all emotional here at the end, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Get a little verklempt. You know what else will make me emotional? No, come on, man. Come on. Don't do that. There we go. There we go. Let's end on this note. BFFs there. Joe Flacco, hon. How tall is Joe Flacco, by the way? See him next to Ronnie Stanley in these post-game handshakes. Seen Joe Flacco millions of times. And every time I see him, I think, man, how tall he is. Thanks for all that love in the chat, man. Y'all are too much. I'm going to enjoy going back and critiquing myself on this show. And I always go through all the comments. I don't like hearing myself talk, but I do like going back and reading what you guys say. So I will be rewatching this. Thanks to the Lions fans, Jack and LJ in here. Kept it pretty cool. Talk some trash. Thanks to any other Lions fans that are watching on replay. Thank you to my football family. I love my football family. Y'all have a good night, okay? Love y'all. Take care of each other.